A state trial begins today for three former Memphis police officers accused in the beating death of Tyre Nichols. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith have all pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder charges. Police video of Nichols' beating after a 2023 traffic stop sparked protests across the country and increased calls for police reform in the U.S. And you're looking at a live picture right now of the judge giving instructions to attorneys on both sides before they start opening statements. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmire. So, Brian, what are you watching for as opening statements get started today?
I just want to see what these three defense attorneys are going to put out there. Now, you highlighted that this is a state trial because the federal cases have already come and gone. The sentencing hasn't happened as yet. It's going to happen after the state case. But we only have three defendants who are on trial right now: Haley, Smith, and Bean. Martin and Mills, from our understanding from their defense attorneys, they at some point will change their plea from not guilty to guilty. So is Haley, Smith, and Bean going to point the finger at Martin and Mills? Is that the defense here? And of course, we saw a mixed bag of results from the federal case. So are we going to have the same thing here as well?
The trial's taking place in Memphis, but the jury was taken from Hamilton County on the other side of the state. Why seat an out-of-town jury here, and how do you think that could impact things?
So the why is that the defense made a very strong argument, I think one that everyone can kind of understand, that no jury in this community would have seen that video and been able to give the defendants a fair and impartial trial. And so they sought the advice of both the defense and the prosecution and the judge to find an area where they can find what they believe to be a fair and impartial jury, and they've seated one today, and that's why they're beginning opening statements. Do I think it'll have an impact on the case? Yes, to some degree. As you pointed out in the opening, this case affected the entire country and probably even beyond that as well. So I think it alleviates some of the issues, but still people are going to know this case and have a deep impact of it.
Brian, all three men have already been found guilty of obstruction charges in the federal trial. So how is this state trial expected to be different from that one? And can the results of the federal trial impact the state trial?
So it will be different in the sense of it is the same action that they're accused of committing, the death of or the violation of civil rights, but there are different charges as well as different elements to those charges when you compare the federal case from the state case. Here in the state case, we're talking about a second-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault. Those have different elements and different standards by which the case would have to be proven. And when it comes to the federal case, it's not supposed to affect the state case. That's why you go through jury selection. That's why jurors are told to not listen to what they hear in the media, the news, and other previous cases, but to solely focus on the evidence presented to them in this case. So legally, it shouldn't affect, but people are people, and there could be some spillover into the state case.
All right, Brian Buckmire, thank you.
My pleasure.